Within the dense, ancient forests of Western Europe, a medieval landscape remains remarkably preserved. This is a sovereign nation measuring 2,600 square kilometers. It is entirely landlocked, bordered on all sides by France, Germany, and Belgium. Despite its geographic footprint, the country functions as a primary administrative and judicial hub for the European Union, exercising a level of political weight usually reserved for much larger states. The capital city is built directly into the landscape's rugged bedrock. Here, modern streets are physically supported by ancient stone bridges and sheer cliffside fortifications. The Grand Ducal Palace sits at the center of this urban grid. With its traditional guards and sovereign flags, it marks the home of the world's only remaining Grand Duchy. The preservation of this medieval core, alongside modern governance, shows a nation that has maintained its physical history while expanding its political reach. Historically, survival here depended on the ability to turn this rocky terrain into a weapon against invading empires. Military engineers transformed the hills into a massive fortress, carving miles of stone corridors and defensive positions directly into the earth. These are the Bach casemates. The dark openings in these cliff faces lead to an underground labyrinth shielding thousands from bombardment. While the casemates secured the capital, fortresses like Vianden Castle protected the northern routes. Perched on a steep ridge, it provided a clear line of sight overlooking the valley for miles. These walls, which endured centuries of siege and conflict, now serve as open-air museums for a continent that has transitioned to open borders. Establishing this physical security was a prerequisite. Only by becoming impregnable could the nation provide the stability required to grow into a global financial center. Modern Luxembourg has moved its focus from stone walls to financial markets, emerging as one of the world's wealthiest nations by GDP per capita. This shift is most visible in the Kirchberg district. Sleek glass skyscrapers rise over the tree line, housing the headquarters of global banks. Beyond private banking, the district serves as the seat for the European Court of Justice and the European Investment Bank. The nation attracts this level of activity through specialized financial regulations and a tax framework designed to facilitate international investment. In this modern context, economic influence is determined by the speed and clarity of a nation's policies, allowing a small territory to manage a massive share of the world's capital. Leaving the financial district, the glass towers are quickly replaced by protected parklands and agricultural valleys. The Mullersal region, known locally as Little Switzerland, is defined by its moss-covered stones, narrow canyons, and the Schiessen-Tumpel waterfall. Along the border with Germany, the terrain opens into the Moselle Valley. The sloping vineyards here have produced wine since the Roman era, maintaining a slow-paced agricultural tradition just miles from the capital. This geographic proximity between global banking and rural life is reflected in the local culture. Citizens move fluidly between Luxembourgish, French, and German in their daily interactions. This trilingualism is a practical result of the country's history as a European crossroads, contributing to a high standard of living and social stability. On these countryside roads, the atmosphere is quiet. The intense pace of international finance is absent, replaced by a lifestyle focused on natural preservation. Luxembourg demonstrates that a nation can operate at the highest levels of global finance while strictly preserving its language, its rural landscapes, and its medieval architecture.